And due to the due for the sake of due process, and I think
Sorry,
that's kind of what he.
that's a word salad. It's not making any soup.
Shoulders, I am aware that I do have constitutional rights, not just the ones that were mentioned here before, and also that the exercising of a right is also an expression of a right, which is an invoking of a right, which is a way that a right can be used. And the man speaking with a voice and
Okay,
a
so
sound
I'm going to
mind.
cut this off. What is a preliminary exam?
Well, before I address that, may I address
No,
it to
sir.
you?
No, we're gonna focus our answers here. May I have appearances for the record, please? Mr. Anid?
Sure.
Mr. Thornton, could you state your name for the record, please?
I am Shoulders in here by way of executive office for Lee State Authority, nonprofit organization.
Except that is Mr. Thornton announcing his appearance before the.
The judge gives him one simple task: define a preliminary exam. Instead of a straight answer, we get verbal gymnastics. The judge literally says, "I'm going to give you one chance." That's courtroom code for, "Land this plane now." Somehow he scrapes together a semi-correct answer, but it's a bumpy land.
A pre-exam conference. Mr. Anid, it is my understanding that Mr. Thornton has declined representation. However, Mr. Thornton, at every appearance, I need to remind you that you have a constitutional right to be represented by an attorney, and that if you can't afford an attorney, the court will provide one for you. I am particularly proud of the superb public defenders we have in this court. However, you may also retain any attorney you wish. You will get to choose the attorney. You would have to pay them. You have a constitutional right to represent yourself, but I have to warn you that if you proceed representing yourself, you would be held to the same standard as all attorneys who have gone to law school, passed the bar, and been admitted to practice. So the court really can't give you any breaks or help you at all. Is it your wish to represent yourself, sir?
Mr. Thornton is aware of the courtroom decorum and the standards and procedures that must be upheld by a person in representation of a party. And as again, Shoulders, I am aware that I do have constitutional rights, not just the ones that were mentioned here before, and also that the exercising of a right is also an expression of a right, which is an invoking of a right, which is a way that a right can be used, and to uphold the proper standards. Mr. Thornton does not wish to get public counsel representation as I am a legal representation by special appearance through the executive office for Mr. Thornton, and not the actual entity, Latavia State Thornton. Once again, on the record, it has not been declined that Latavia State Thornton is a nonprofit organization, which, yes, Your Honor, is a person, in fact. And the man speaking with a voice and a sound mind.
So I'm going to cut this off. I don't want to mute you, but we have to move forward. We have an attorney standing by. That would be Mr. Foreman. Have you had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Thornton about any plea offer?
No, Your Honor, and I don't think I'll have any meaningful conversations with him based on what I see. I believe that it's not clear whether what he's doing is intentional or whether this may be a competency issue. But I'm prepared to proceed. I just don't know if we should. I have a concern for his competency, to be honest with you. If the court's objection, we had the same issue this time.
No, Mr. Thornton, one person at a time. And right now, Mr. Anid is speaking.
I mean, I guess I would inquire with whether he knows what a preliminary exam is, and if he understands, if we forward, if he's gonna know what to do. I mean, I believe I have to look at the court rules. I've never dealt with this issue, but I think having standby counsel would be something that would be needed to advise him. I'll look into all that, but I just don't know if he's gonna know what a preliminary exam is. I believe this may just be a competency issue. I don't know, Your Honor.
Okay, so actually that's a good question. So Mr. Thornton, I'm going to ask you, what is a preliminary exam?
Well, before I address that, may I address
No,
it to
sir.
you?
No, we're gonna focus our answers here. What is a preliminary exam?
Your Honor.
I'm going to give you
Your
one
Honor.
chance to answer. What is a preliminary exam?
A court proceeding. Mr.
Okay,
Thornton
and what-
said that preliminary
Okay,
exam is
and
a
what
court
happens,
proceeding.
that's a good answer, what happens at that court proceeding?
At a preliminary examination court proceeding, the parties have the opportunity to present evidence, cross-examine each other, and determine whether a case is, whether evidence is admissible to go into continuing proceedings, whether the court has jurisdictions. A plethora of matters may be brought up in a preliminary examination to see if the court has a valid standing, to see if.
After a private breakout room chat, the prosecutor calmly explains the next steps. Then Thornton jumps back in with another spiral about jurisdiction and documents. The judge pauses and basically says, "That's word salad. It's not making any soup." At that moment, even the prosecutor looks relieved to just reset the date.